Well, we return to this story about the anti-Semitic protests at the Sydney Opera House. We've been reporting on this since it happened on October 8. But now we're seeing that many on the left are rejecting the suggestion that anything anti-Semitic was chanted at all. Editors at the Sydney Morning Herald reportedly told a freelance journalist that she couldn't write as fact that pro-Palestinian supporters chanted "Gas the Jews" on the steps of the Opera House. They said this was disputed. Then an Upper House Labor MP, Stephen Lawrence, also questioned the legitimacy of the footage in Parliament. He said that real questions were emerging as to whether that particular chant was said, suggesting AI might have even had a role in making the video. And just this week, Crikey published an article claiming that the footage of the protests had been edited by an Australian Jewish group, the Australian Jewish Association. They say it couldn't be verified as true. Well, one of the authors of that article, Antoinette Lattouf, is also in a video that she published to her social media trying to suggest that people didn't say anything anti-Semitic or deeply offensive at all. In this long video, she builds the case that it was edited to add "Gas the Jews." Have a look.
So this video was posted by the Australian Jewish Association with their logo included. The video features a series of wide shots, several edit points with different angles, as you can see here, and it's all of the back of the crowd. It has also been captioned, note, "Gas the Jews" and "F the Jews" are in speech marks, and the final video frame is the AGA's logo. It is conceivable that someone, or some people, said "Gas the Jews," maybe, but was it chanted loudly, repeatedly, and by a large group of people like this one video that's been shared globally suggests? Or was it even said at all?
Serious gaslighting going on there. Well, I've obtained the raw footage from the protest and the audio is exactly the same as what was posted online. Here it is. All right, joining me now, former Speaker of the House, Bronwyn Bishop, and senior video producer for the Daily Telegraph, James Willis. Welcome to the program. Bronwyn, I've also got the details of 4 people who were there and heard the crowd say "Gas the Jews." What are we seeing here where people are trying to tell Jews that anti-Semitism isn't happening?
We still have people who deny the Holocaust. So why are we surprised that that sort of person who is anti-Semitic and literally is subscribing with saying "Gas the Jews" is like saying "let's have the final solution"? That's exactly what it is. And so it is right that they be called out as people who are not fit to be people who are in any way taken seriously by anybody in Australia. You know, it appalls me in my naivete. I thought at the end of World War II, when it was said that it must never happen again, that anti-Semitism had come to an end. And yet it has run like a river through so much, particularly through the Arab world and through other parts of the world. And we've knocked the scab off and out comes this pouring of pus.
No, it's unbelievable. James Willis, I want to ask you about this article in The Australian today by Simon Benson. He writes that Middle Australia is now doing all the heavy lifting when it comes to delivering the Treasurer his budget surplus aspirations. Benson writes that while the budget position is improving, households continue to deteriorate. Do you think that this, budget potential surplus is built off the back of or at the expense of Australians?
Oh, Sharri, there's no doubt about that. And I think in the last 12 months, when the Labor government's been focused on the referendum and trying to get the yes vote over the line, they lost track of their heartland. And the reality is that right now, when Jim Chalmers, the Treasurer, collects record amounts of income tax, and the income tax receipts are driving the tax revenue that he's receiving, he's forgotten about where that money's actually coming from. And the reality is the people that have been hit over and over again by the Reserve Bank climbing interest rates from 0.1% to where they are today, when a lot of people took out fixed mortgages, when they were told by Philip Lowe they would remain where they were until 2024. When you look at energy prices, when you look at petrol prices, when you look at the cost of school fees and everything else and all the other costs that have gone up significantly over the last 12, 24 months, there is no doubt that the largest part of Australia, the engine room of the economy, that are the working people, feel absolutely dudded by what they're seeing in return from this mid-year economic financial update, which is there's always help for people that are on welfare. There's always extra money there. The energy relief and everything else that comes with that is always skewered to people that we're told are the ones that are suffering the most, and that is people on welfare, and there are people in that category. But ultimately, if you're earning a quid, getting up every day, you've got your hand out at the moment wondering what's in it for us.
Yeah. Bronwyn, the figures show that there was $30 billion of extra personal income tax receipts, and this is partly why the budget is in such a good position.
Absolutely. That and the extraordinary prices paid for our coal, gas and iron ore. I mean, the very things that the manic Bowen is over there screaming and yelling has to be ended, and the very things that the Treasury says, oh, we must kill inflation and we're out there to stop the cost of living going up, their very actions, including bracket creep, is exactly what is making life tough for them. Now, I say it again and again. They say they want to push up wages. It's not a question of pushing up wages. It's what can you buy with the wages you receive. If you push up wages but up goes the cost of living, you're buying less with the amount of money you're getting. So it is the government's fault, and they've got to realise it. I watched Jim Chalmers. He flaps the lips and says nothing. Oh, we're feeling sorry for you, or this or that, but nothing actually is done.
James, do you think this issue, cost of living, could cost the Albanese government a second term?
Totally. I think it could cost any government another election. There's no doubt about that, Sharri. This is white hot at the minute. People are really, really doing it tough. And Bronwyn makes an excellent point simply on the cost of electricity bills. Now, we've been told over and over again that renewables are the cheapest form of energy. We've just had the major UN summit where the whole world said we're going to switch off fossil fuels all at once. But what we're paying here in a country that's rich on resources and coal and gas that the rest of the world wants, people are paying through the nose. They've had enough of it. And the plan that Chris Bowen and others have in place is simply not washing with them, and certainly at the ballot box, that could be a major factor heading into the next few years.
Yeah. Look, I'm so sorry to say to both of you, we are out of time. James Willis, Bronwyn Bishop, thank you both so much for joining me.